What up, fitness people? Welcome to the best channel on the whole YouTube. If you have never been here, my name is Chris. I'm a strength and athletic coach at the National Performance Center for Kickboxing, and I'm also a student of sports science at the University of Bern, here in the most beautiful country of the world, Switzerland. And today, in today's documentary Sunday reaction, we're going to react to the Powerlifter documentary. And it's going to be something that I have a personal background in. I did some kind of powerlifting, not professionally, not competing, but it was like a kind of training style that I really liked, and it brought me some great results. And I would say grab yourself something to drink, grab yourself something to eat. I have not eaten today, but I'm now having my avocado toasts here, and also some yogurt with some nuts, peanut butter, protein, and some chia seeds. And I would say, without further ado, let's go into this video. Gonna expect great things.
Here we go. Hours and hours of training, and this is my chance to put it all together.
Fingers on his meat now. Huh? Personal story, okay.
I walk off after my first squat. What a disaster. Fell over twice, barely able to get the bar out of the rack.
How much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 plates.
Over before it even starts. I can't think like that. Can't be stressing about my hip injury right now. Did I somehow mess up?
No, powerlifters always injured.
The past few days. Am I not strong enough for this weight? No. This is just powerlifting.
It's just a way of life, man.
Another thing to overcome. And I have to remind myself that this isn't the end of anything. It's just the beginning.
One of the things that drew me to powerlifting was this sort of objectivity. So the very like real markers of progress, right? If you put more weight on the bar, you're doing better. You can very,
yeah, I mean, you get stronger the better.
I think with something like bodybuilding or some of the other sports that I was maybe considering at the time, it was a little too subjective.
Yeah, I mean, bodybuilding is not per se about the sport itself. It's a performance, it's an aesthetic sport. And powerlifting is about moving the weight. Bodybuilder doesn't need to be strong.
A documentary called Power Unlimited, and it was that there's simplicity in form, but complexity in execution. So with the power lifts, like they're pretty simple, straightforward movements, but the layers
not like
of complexity
Olympian
that
lifting or
people don't
something.
understand are there within these simple seeming movements. To be able to move weights beyond, you know, what people thought was humanly possible, even within the last 10 years, it's pretty cool. I don't know if I was fortunate or gifted.
Bryce Kravtsik. Okay.
When I kind of first
Hello,
started
Bryce.
powerlifting, but I had a lot of success. I had a lot of progress. You know, I set a lot of records. I won a lot of championships. I had some best lifter awards at big international
Bodybuilding.com pro deadlift. $600, bro.
meets.
It's not even covering his food, I bet.
I definitely really enjoyed that sort of ride, but it petered out when I ran into my hip injury, and you know, I was kind of set back and watched my peers progress past me, and I had to learn to change the way that I looked at powerlifting and to fall in love with the process more so than those achievements and those goals. And I think the only reason I'm still here, the only reason I'm still powerlifting, is because I learned to shift that mindset. You know, it's not so much about the end goal, the end result, the whatever at this point. It's more about just really learning to enjoy the training and take that for what it is.
Quick side note here. That's something very wise that he said. And I think it's not like obvious on the first glance, but what he basically said is, when your only focus is on the end goal, on the meat, on lifting weight X, on day Y, you're comparing yourself with others, what they can lift, because in the meet it's you against someone else, not directly here how it is in combat sports like face to face, but you're competing, or you're comparing the numbers, who can squat the most or who has the highest triple, squat, bench and deadlift, right? And what he shifted is he shifted his mindset to this external validation, being better than somebody else, to I gotta enjoy the process, man. I love powerlifting. I love the process. I love lifting weights. I love pushing myself. And what he did is, and what he did by this is shifting the focus or his validation from the external to the internal, because he is now comparing himself to his yesterday's training, to his weeks before training. And this, I think this is very, very sustainable for a long period of time, because you don't necessarily have that much of drawbacks or setbacks when you lose a meet, for example. You can have like a bad day, but when you do it for, like I do it for, the love of lifting or the love of smashing weights around, bro, that's the most beautiful thing in the world, in my personal experience.
I grew up in small town Saskatchewan, a place called Moose Jaw, and then later Regina.
The names, bro.
It's really flat there. And it's changed since I grew up there. Ironically enough, that was where I did my first powerlifting meet after moving around the country a whole bunch. I ended up back in Moose Jaw doing my first.
Love his style.
I don't know if I want to say that there maybe wasn't a whole lot there for me after a certain point, but I definitely kind of needed to get out and figure things out for myself.
Bro, that's flat. Visiting his parents? Yeah, seems like it. Nice. Supporting families, something so valuable.
That might be one of the more.
It's crazy, man.
Things. Like, I used to play video games listening to the Macarena on my boombox.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Look at me.
I used to wake up early and play Mega Man listening to the Macarena on repeat.
Well, see, I'm learning.
I used to stand up and play Skyrim, you know, when I was a little bit younger. When I was still living with my parents, I used to like get up at 4, go for a run. Then I had like my sports thing done for the day, and then I could play like the whole day, just Skyrim.
Mason had his own dance moves, I think. He just kind of like...
Or Age of Empires, the Settlers, whatever.
He did the balance.
He's a natural athlete. So pretty much everything he did well. He was finished his swimming by the time he was 12 and couldn't take his bronze cross until he was 14. He was breaking boards in Taekwondo when he was 8 or 9. Soccer, he started at it fairly late.
That's how you were raised as a goddamn kid.
But ended up
Put them
on
into
the travel
sports.
team. So
God's sake, man.
he was always committed and had a natural grace. There's something there that his body is built for athletics, moves well, but it was just a matter of finding something that fit him and also his mind.
That's some solid deadlift, bro. Let's go. Stronger than I. Stronger than I. God damn, he must be juiced.
Oh, sorry, Neil. Not as bad as mine yesterday, or the other day.
Oh, I forgot to record. I'm glad there were 3 of you guys.
When I first met Bryce, like he was naturally a skinny guy. And I think just seeing him go from, back in the days of working at Pizza Hut and being this skinny little tatted up guy who, was singing in a metal band, being very interested
Man, I can so relate, bro.
Right from the start, and doing his first powerlifting meet and putting up he put up a good total and he did fine, but it was nothing. That's
75, 150, 170. 370, 390, okay.
Ordinary. It
It's a little
was
bit
like
above
anyone
me.
else's first meet. And then just all of a sudden seeing his lifts increase on this just exponential rise to these numbers that I didn't even think were possible to lift. That's just incredible for me to see. Like, you know, to go from learning the technique to lifting that amount of weight, right? It just shows you how quickly you can progress in the sport.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, I wasn't necessarily super good at powerlifting when I first started. I started to improve really quickly, which is what fed I guess, the addiction.
Yeah, and what fed the fire. That's exactly what I always tell you, is to just start somewhere. Give it a go half a year. No matter what, if it's a martial art, give it a go half a year and then you know if it's the thing for you or not.
But it didn't seem like anything remarkable at the time. I just really, like, there was just this sort of unnameable, unidentifiable thing about it that I enjoyed. And at the time, I didn't really know
smashing
what it was.
around
I
big
just
weights.
liked it. I liked doing it. I liked the training. And then I competed and something just like clicked.
So I think when you first start lifting, you kind of don't really know what you're capable of. I think that you don't really know what it feels like to push against a max weight because you're just not good enough at the movement. You're not efficient enough. But once you reach a certain point and you take that first real max attempt, I think if you look at the squat, for example, you can use that as a pretty direct parallel for, you know, some sort of issue or adversity or you know, just hardship in life. And that moment on your way up with a heavy squat where there's that split second and the bar just stops. Everything stops dead and it's like time stops for a second. And
The moment you
have
below.
this incredibly quick little discussion with yourself about whether or not you're going to keep going, whether or not you can keep going, and whether or not you're going to be able to stand back up with.
That's so true. You know immediately if you're gonna get the lift or not. At the squat, it's at a 90-degree angle. Bench, it's when you start pushing against, when it is right on your chest. Deadlift, when you start getting the pressure in, trying to move it, you instantly know if you're gonna get it or not.
Squat with this weight.
And that's something that you cannot.
And I think
That's something that you cannot understand when you start lifting, when you're not lifting heavy, like in a deadlift, I don't know, twice your body weight, like categories, then it starts
the more
really.
times you can win that, the more times you can train yourself to win that discussion in your life of whether or not when you have those things hold you up and stop you dead in your tracks and you wonder, holy crap, can I do this? Can I beat this? Can I stand up? You know, before you get stuck and you have that moment of sort of questioning.
That's a velocity-based training tool, huh? Nice.
It's like when at this point, like when I can make it fun, when it is fun, it's like it makes me remember why I started, why I do it in the first place. Now it's like it's just kind of something I do sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's what you do. It's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up.
I love
you
his
go to the gym,
tattoos,
you
man.
train. I mean, it's like brushing your teeth.
Is it a job?
In some ways, yeah. I mean, like work is a job.
Yeah.
The job is a job for sure. You know, it's something I love doing, but you know, it's still work. And like lifting itself is work some days, and lifting itself is something that I like. Sometimes I dread it. Sometimes I don't want to do it at all. Sometimes I don't want to be at the gym.
So how do you get past that?
You just do it. like you tell yourself whatever you need to.
Can't you come up with some excuses?
No, and that's the thing. It's like if you can beat like even one of those excuses or one of those reasons you don't want to go, and just take that first step. You know, like fill up your water bottle.
That's
like whatever it is to like get you going and just get your ass in and there and do it. Like you just do it.
So that's got to be the difference between somebody that's successful and this and somebody that isn't.
Okay, I can see you. Can you see me?
It says it's connecting.
this upcoming meet is kind of a bit of a litmus test. Like, since I took that time off to try to get healthy, and it seems to be going really well. I think I'm more nervous for this nationals than I have been for a nationals in a long time. Like, I've been pulling really well again, and there's a lot of people like, oh, 400, you're gonna load 400? Is 400 finally gonna happen? And that's kind of, you know, in my own head, I've been kind of thinking, you know, if it's there, I'll put it on the bar. And I feel like there's been a couple times where I could have probably pulled it, but I never loaded it. And I don't want this to be the last chance I get at it or something, you know?
If I could bottle your attitude toward competition and just kind of administer it to all of our lifters, I would definitely do that. And I think you're so spot on with this stuff, you know? Like, it's important, it matters. You've got a good balance between like the short-term perspective and the long-term perspective, and you're focused on the things that are within your control, you know, at the same time appreciating the things that are good, that are outside of your control too. But I mean, it's just, you're doing great, man.
Thanks.
Keep doing that.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah.
So the World Games is probably the
So
closest
interesting
thing
to
the
see,
Olympics
man.
Powerlifting has.
I hope there's some
It's
sort
every
of
4 years, it's a
other
multi-sport
documentaries
event.
about him.
They take like people who win and hit the podium at the IPF World Championships, and then they put a bunch of them in a competition together. So it's really the best of the best. It's the closest thing powerlifting has to an Olympics, and that's where I want to be. Nationals is the first meet since I took a bunch of time off, and not even time off, I really hesitate to call it that, but a bunch of steps back to try to fix my hip, to try to get healthy again so I can make this push. And I don't want to call it a last push, but this is probably the biggest.
Honestly, if you see this dude, you see he's muscular, but you couldn't guess like that he is insanely strong, right? And that's the thing what I love about lifting heavy. You get this sleeper physique. People see, oh yeah, dude probably goes to the gym. But then when you tell them you can lift their fat ass mommies up and above your head, no bro. And then if it happens, they go to the gym with you and you just do your shit and you perform this very moment.
Push that I've made in my career to try to make it to the World Games. So this is step one, and if it goes well, it means a lot. If it goes poorly, it means a lot.
I hope he makes it, man. You deserve it, brother.
Nice. Come on, this is the one. Make it count.
God damn, I want to hit the gym now. Fuck's sake.
What am I scared of? I'm terrified that he could hurt himself. So
It's like my mother and my father are telling me.
I have to say, well, okay, I trust that he knows what he's doing. He has at a level of competition where he's taking the right steps to do the right thing to make sure what he's doing is safe. The training that he does every day in the gym with heavy weights, I just want to hope that every single day he's got the people he needs around him to make sure he doesn't hurt himself, because that's my concern, right? So
the last couple of days, maybe week or so, I've been putting a fair bit of thought into the idea of going up a weight class. I think that my chances of hitting the podium at Worlds are better in the 120 kilo category versus the 105 kilo category where I currently am. The only thing
I
is,
would even be 90 kilos now.
That's 15 kilos of body weight gained. Yes, it gets me closer to the World Games, more than likely, which right now is kind of the big focus, the big goal, the big push, drive, whatever you want to call it. But I still, like, I don't know what I look like or how I feel at 120 kilos. It's obviously not going to happen overnight, but I still want to be able to walk the dog and go for hikes and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's probably going to be a bit of a trade-off. And I haven't exactly talked to my wife about this idea yet.
I mean, he looks super handsome. In 105 kilo now, somewhere around there. Super handsome, man. The dude is first walking around 100 kilos and looking good.
So, babe, I've been thinking, and like doing some research on totals and stuff like that, and I wanted to ask you about it because obviously it matters, or you're part of the decision. But what would you think about me going up a weight class after nationals?
I mean, I'm not thrilled about the idea, but
yeah.
Why? The reasons why?
About the idea.
I get the logic behind it and why you want to do it, so if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's why you put a ring on it, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Good woman. Wow.
Weight class. That was the plan the whole time.
Perfect. It's kind of like powerlifting is we're like on a planet and we orbit planet powerlifting all the time, and
so it's the same with me and athletic training or weightlifting training in general. With my girlfriend.
He'll, go into these stages of training where he needs to be really primed and really sharp, and he needs to be eating really carefully and sleeping really well, and training is the big focus of our lives, and that's kind of leading into the few weeks of a meet. And then the meet comes, and then after that we just kind of drift away, and powerlifting is always part of our lives, but we kind of spend less time focused in on it sometimes. I guess for most of the year it's more of a background element, but it's never not present in our lives.
I wonder why it's always this way around. It's most of the time, most of the videos that I've watched, it's always the man that has a dream and the woman is supporting. And I know for a fact it can also be the other way around. But I would wonder why I haven't seen this. Maybe because I'm biased. Fucker. Maybe. I don't know. No, that's not true. We watched... Oh shit, I can't remember now. Jazzy Par. Right.
I feel more ready for this meet than I've felt for a meet in a long time.
But King, or the Queen of Muay Thai.
When I set my first world record and won best lifter at North Americans. Like, I went in just kind of knowing that I was ready and able to do what I needed to do. So, although I keep trying to convince myself otherwise, I think that I am ready and able to do what I plan to do.
We're gonna see this now.
I've thought
Hope
about,
so.
because I want to pull 400 kilos. Like I want to deadlift 400 kilos at this meet.
Yeah,
And
it's
I've
talking
thought
kilos,
about
man.
loading like 399. I've thought about like, what if I just loaded 399 so so there's no way I can't pull it next time. You know what I mean?
No, bro, just do it. Come on, you're gonna get it. 400 natural. Ah, that's a goal, man. I mean, I'm at half. Must be juiced.
My mind calms, and I regain my focus. I put everything I've got into moving an immovable object.
Yeah, solid, bro. Easy
And the funny thing
going.
is, so much of this has nothing to do with lifting weights. It's about the people, and it's about the passion for a never-ending pursuit of progress.
Yeah. The day you start lifting this, the day you never be big again, or you'll always
It's
be
about
small,
falling in love
or
with trying
weak,
to be
or
a better
whatever.
version of yourself.
But that's the thing, man.
It's
That's the
about
thing.
commitment to that goal and perseverance through whatever gets thrown in your way.
I want to see him pull now this 400.
I think that everyone has their own personal 400 kilos. There's a beauty and an art in challenging your boundaries. I think it bears repeating to say, it's not just about lifting weights.
Come on, get it. No! You motherfucker! No! Okay, maybe we're gonna see it here. Missed? No, come on. Ah, they couldn't lock out fully. Bro. Solid squat. 40 bench, 45 bench, sorry. What, 380, 390 deadlift? 380, yeah. Without straps? Ah. Okay, sure, but... So happy for this man. Wow, that was a good one. A little bit less on the informational side today, but wow. That was really nice to see, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. As always, if you like this kind of content, then become a member here at the channel, and we have some solid knowledge for you out there, and if not, then that's also okay for me. Like this video, tell me something in the comments, and I would say, let's see you in the next one.